Hey everyone, it's Nora from Nora's Art here, and it is October 22nd here in southern Wisconsin, so definitely getting late in the season, late October here. We've had a couple light frosts, but nothing too extreme. So today what we wanted to show you is everything that we still have growing in our garden, because it's definitely still possible to eat from your garden even after you've had a couple light frosts, even if you live in a northern climate where you don't have that long of a growing season. So what do we got going on today? The most exciting thing that I am standing by or sitting by right now is our wine cap mushrooms. Our wine cap mushroom patch finally started growing. We planted these back in May, and just over the last couple weeks they've started popping up, and we've already harvested 1.5 pounds of mushrooms, and mushrooms don't weigh that much, so definitely that's been a big harvest, and we're just so excited about these because they're so big, they're super tasty, and we're just so excited because we love mushrooms, and now that we're actually successful growing them on our own. So we've done a couple other ways of growing mushrooms. We've done oyster mushrooms in some laundry baskets, and we also tried doing it in straw bales. The laundry baskets were successful, but the straw bales not so much. We'll do a video in the future on like what we've learned in our mushroom growing journey, but we're just so excited about this. And now we just have to be careful about like where we step when we're out here picking raspberries, because we don't want to step on our precious mushrooms. And it's just so funny because we literally like check this patch like every day now. We're like, oh my gosh, how big are the mushrooms? Or is there any more popping up? But anyways, speaking of trying not to step on them, we also still are getting raspberries off our raspberry bush. So we have an ever-bearing raspberry bush, and we've been picking off that thing since July. So July to October, and that will continue going until we have like a super hard frost, and then the plant dies back. So that's super exciting. We've gotten 20 pounds of raspberries off of that bush, which is just crazy to think like one bush you've gotten that many raspberries. But also, speaking of fruit, something else that we just picked was our Swenson grapes. So we got 19 pounds off of that plant, and what some people might not know is that you can keep your grapes on your vine even if there's going to be like a light frost, and that actually makes them more sweet. And when people make wine out of grapes like that, they call it ice wine. So that was something that we learned new this year, and just super interesting to know. And we probably would have gotten more off of that plant, but there was just a lot that didn't have enough time to ripen. So next year we're gonna probably work on like pruning that a little bit more, thinning out the grapes, things like that, just so we can get a better harvest. But anyway, super excited that we got 19 pounds of grapes off of that. And it's definitely garden clean out season, getting late in the season, cleaned a lot of stuff out, but we still have a lot of stuff left. So let's go look at what we have left in the big garden. So here we are in the big garden, and definitely have cleaned a lot of stuff out of here, but we still have a lot of stuff left. So it's definitely still possible to keep eating out of your garden in late October. But anyway, what do we have? So I'm standing next to this giant beet patch, and if you've watched our videos before, you know this has been an ongoing saga throughout the summer. So we've harvested about 72 pounds of beets out of this patch, and there's probably like 40 pounds left. So we're gonna try our best to try to eat as many of these as we can before we get a big snowfall. So I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but beets you can keep in the ground until, like I said, a big snowfall. They're fine with a frost. And past couple years, we've kept our beets in the ground until like Thanksgiving, and we've still been eating them, and they taste really great. And the frost even makes them even sweeter. So that's awesome. But there's some really big monsters in here, and I'll definitely pull one of those and show you guys because it's pretty crazy. But anyway, what else do we have? So we also have our onion patch here. And what's really interesting about the onion patch is we thought these onions were goners. So we were really disappointed about that because we thought we lost like 50% of our onion patch. They just looked so sad. They were just dried out, laying dead in the middle of the summer. And then they had a new spurt of energy, and now they're all growing again. So it's super awesome. Definitely probably not going to get onions off of these this season, but we're pretty positive that we'll be able to harvest these in like March, because we had a similar situation last year and we were able to get these onions and have them in March, early April. So super excited about that. Glad that they're coming back, and it's just cool. Nature's cool. It does amazing things sometimes. But anyways, what else do we have out here? Just to quickly list off the rest of the stuff is we also have carrots. Our carrots, we'll keep those out here just like our beets and harvest off those just periodically until we get a big snowfall. And then we also have Swiss chard, kale, leeks, and parsley. And speaking of parsley, herbs are another thing that in a northern climate or in Wisconsin, you can continue eating off of those for a while. So probably until another big snowfall, just like the beets and the carrots. We have a lot of perennial herbs. We love using herbs in all of our cooking, making breads, making sauces, just pretty much everything in the kitchen. So that was the last thing that I wanted to show you guys, is all the perennial herbs that we're still eating off of and that we'll continue eating off of until we get a big snowfall. So up here by our house, we like to keep a lot of our culinary herbs. We have oregano, thyme, sage, basil's pretty much done now. We also have some green onions, and we have mint, and I think that's it. Oh, rosemary too. I knew I was forgetting one. But like I said, we use herbs on pretty much everything we cook. We love having fresh herbs, and these are perennial herbs, so they just come back year after year, and they will keep going until it snows pretty much. So a lot of herbs, perennial herbs, can survive down to a temperature of like 0 degrees. It's pretty shocking. I know that when I first learned that, I was pretty surprised by that. So definitely have had herbs until like December if we don't get a lot of snow. So it's super awesome. And the reason we like having these up by our house is then like once the weather starts getting colder and it starts getting darker earlier, then it's just super easy to come out here and grab some herbs that you need for your dinner. So that's really exciting. But all in all, we're just super excited that it's this late in the season. It's late October and we're still eating from our garden every day. So we've definitely taken a few years to like extend our gardening season to that. And what I just mean by that is that like we've definitely worked at making our gardening season longer, because when we first started gardening, it was like the frost is coming, rip all the plants out, take all your eggplant, peppers and tomatoes out. You don't have any more food. But definitely now we've gotten to a point where we grow a lot of different varieties of crops that go longer in the season, so that way we can keep eating from our garden for more of an extended period of time. So that was the goal of the video today, was just to show you guys different things that you can be growing once it starts getting cold, even if you've had a couple frosts. So if you learned something from this video today, make sure to give it a thumbs up and then subscribe to our channel so that way you can stay up to date on our gardening journey.